boys and girls. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mrs. Taylor, and for today's adventures, we're going to... Whoa! What's going on?
Whoa!
Where am I? This place looks a little familiar, like a game I used to play when I was younger, Candyland. But why would I be here now?
Hello, welcome to Candyland. We're so grateful to have you. Now follow me as we learn about division.
Wow, this does sound like an exciting adventure in the mix. I love candy and I love math, so why not put them together and learn about division? Boys and girls, would you like to come join me? Well, great. Let's learn how to divide together at Candyland.
Oh, sweet! We get to go to the Peppermint Forest.
Follow me across the peppermint path to the Peppermint Forest.
This place looks so sweet. Look at all the candy. There's candy dots and I love peppermints. This path looks so delicious. The first division strategy that we're going to work on in the Peppermint Forest is the repeated subtraction strategy. The first thing we want to do on this peppermint path is to count how many peppermints we have. Pause the video and count how many peppermints there are. How many peppermints did you count? If you counted 18, then you are correct. Don't forget that anytime you divide, you always start with the largest number. So that's why we had to figure out the total amount of peppermints that were in the picture. We are going to subtract 6. So I'm going to take away 6 peppermints. 18 minus 6 equals 12. So I now have 12 peppermints left on my path. But we're not done yet. We're going to subtract 6 more peppermints from the path. 12 minus 6 equals 6. That's why I have 6 peppermints left on my path. This last subtraction problem is really easy. We have 6 peppermints and we're going to subtract 6. So we have 6 minus 6 equals 0. To find the answer to 18 divided by 6, we're going to see how many times we subtracted. I remember the first time we said 18 minus 6 equals 12. Then the second time we said 12 minus 6 equals 6. And finally we said 6 minus 6 equals 0. So we subtracted 6 3 times. So our answer is going to be 3. 18 divided by 6 equals 3 because we subtracted 6 3 times.
But be careful as we walk through the licorice lagoon. You can lose a turn if you stop on one of the licorice X's, but it has a cool division strategy that you can use.
Which type of licorice do you prefer? I prefer the cherry kind. When we have the equation 12 divided by 4, we begin on our number line on the number 12 because you start on the largest number when you divide. Now we're going to use repeated subtraction to get us from 12 to 0 on the number line. Our first jump takes us from 12 to 8 because we're thinking of 12 minus 4 equals 8. That makes one jump. As we continue our journey to the number 0, we're going to subtract 4 more. We're starting on the number 8 minus 4 equals 4. That's jump number 2 on the number line. We're ready to jump one more final time in order to get to 0 on the number line. We started on the number 4, minus 4 brings us to 0. That's jump number 3. Here's our final division equation for our number line. Since we started on the 12, divided by 4, which means to subtract by 4 each time, gives us 3 jumps. So 12 divided by 4 equals 3. Sweet! We get to go to Lollipop Palace next.
Anyways, as we continue the tour, welcome to Lollipop Palace, where we learn fact families or related facts to help us learn multiplication and division facts.
What's your favorite lollipop flavor? I like grape. Did you know that you could create a fact family for multiplication and division problems, just like we did for the addition and subtraction problems earlier this year? This makes it so easy for us to learn our math facts because all of these facts are related. So when we're ready to make a fact family for multiplication and division, we're going to simply start with the largest number when we divide. In this case, our largest number is 18. If we divide it by 2, it makes it easy because we can count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. We counted 9 times in order to do that. So our first problem is 18 divided by 2 equals 9. Now that we know the 3 numbers that we're dealing with in our fact family are 18, 2, and 9, it's easy for us to create the rest of the fact family. For the second division problem, we know that we're going to start with the 18 again because we're dividing. And we're just swapping the 2 and the 9 to make it 9 and 2. So the second equation is 18 divided by 9 equals 2. And then when we start to multiply, we remember that 18 goes at the end where the answer is, because when you multiply, you're getting a larger number. So we're going to start with 2. 2 times 9 equals 18. And then we're going to swap the 9 and the 2 to make it 9 times 2 equals 18. So those are the 4 facts that belong together in the multiplication and division fact family. I don't know about you, but I think it's so sweet that we can learn our multiplication division facts by using fact families. Don't you agree?
The final location of the tour is the gumdrop trail as we make equal groups to help us divide.
I wonder if there are enough gumdrops for us to build something out of them. Start off with a bowl of gumdrops.
The first question we have to ask when we divide are how many pieces of candy are here on the table in all. You always start with the largest number when you divide. So let's count the candy. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So I'm starting off with 20 gumdrops. That's the first number in my division equation.
When you think about putting your gumdrops into equal groups, there are 2 ways you can do this. Here's your first way.
In this division problem, we have 4 groups. So now we're going to take the candy and put it inside of each circle, making sure that each circle gets the same amount of candy. So to do that, I'm going to give 1 gumdrop to that circle, another gumdrop to that circle, 1 to that circle, and 1 gumdrop to that circle. So each circle now has 1 gumdrop. Now I'm going to repeat that until all of my candy is gone.
Here's our final equation. We started off with 20 gumdrops. We have 4 equal groups, and inside of each circle, we have 5 gumdrops. So 20 divided by 4 equals 5. Another way of thinking about this equation is the fact that you're subtracting 4 each time. We're giving 1 gumdrop to each group until all of the gumdrops are gone. To me, that's what you do when you are sharing your candy. There's a second way of thinking about equal groups. We can also use the repeated subtraction technique. Let's look at this picture a second way. In our second problem, you know the total number of gumdrops, which is 20, and we want to divide them into equal groups of 5 to find out how many groups you can make. In this case, you are subtracting 5 repeatedly, more than 1 time. So 20 minus 5 equals 15. 15 minus 5 equals 10. 10 minus 5 equals 5, and 5 minus 5 equals 0. That's how we get 4 equal groups. Do you remember when we had 20 gumdrops and we divided them between 4 groups? So each group got 5. That's when we got the equation 20 divided by 4 equals 5. Then we took the 20 gumdrops and divided them into groups of 5. And we had enough for 4 groups. So we have the equation of 20 divided by 5 equals 4. These 2 equations are part of something we just learned about. They're part of a fact family. Did you notice that both of the equations use the same numbers? 20, 4, and 5. We just move them around to make them into a related fact. Can you figure out what the two multiplication problems are in this fact family? Pause the video, write it down on a piece of paper, and then check your answers. Did you get 4 times 5 equals 20 and 5 times 4 equals 20? Good job. Now we have all of the facts that are related to each other and belong together in a fact family. Here's an anchor chart that helps summarize our division strategies that we learned about today in this video. Take a minute to pause the video and review these 4 strategies so that you're prepared for the math challenge of the day.
It's time for your math challenge of the day. So grab a piece of paper and something to write with, and let's start dividing. For today's challenge, you also need something from your house that you have large amounts of. For example, you might grab from your kitchen some M&Ms or some Skittles. In your toy room, you might have some Legos or maybe some toy cars. In your art supply room, you might have some construction paper of different colors that you can cut apart and make lots of squares or circles. Or you might even have some markers that you could use to just draw these examples on a piece of paper. Maybe you have coins lying around your house, like some pennies, nickels, and dimes, and then you can use that for this project. Whatever you pick, it's going to be perfect. So pause the video, go grab your supplies, and when you come back, unpause the video and hear the directions.
Now that you've collected your items, you're ready for your math challenge. Begin by sorting your items into 2 to 10 equal groups. Then draw a circle around each group. You can use marker, yarn, chalk, or anything else you have in your house. Then write the division equation that goes along with your picture. When you're done, take a picture of your creation or share your creation with your classmates. I know that whatever you do, it's going to be fabulous. Here's my example of the math challenge. I started off with 8 footballs. I put my footballs into 2 equal groups. My groups are separated by hula hoops. When I separated out the footballs into 2 equal groups, I get 4 footballs in each circle. So 8 footballs divided into 2 groups equals 4 footballs in each group. So 8 divided by 2 equals 4.
Thanks so much for joining me here today at Candyland as we learned how to divide together. If you liked today's video, make sure to click the like button. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, click the subscribe button so you don't miss out on a single adventure. We'll see you next time on our next adventure. Bye-bye.